All right, let's jump right in. We spend so much time thinking about how to speak well, right? But what if I told you that the most powerful communication skill you have isn't about speaking at all? It's about listening. Today, we're going to explore how to turn listening from something passive into a really profound way to connect with people.
Wow. That quote really hits hard, doesn't it? It perfectly captures this weird paradox we're all living in. There's just so much noise, people talking, posting, shouting, but in all of that loudness, how many of us actually feel heard? It's a feeling we can probably all relate to.
So how in the world do we cut through all that noise? Well, the key is to completely reframe how we think about listening. See, it's not just about shutting up while someone else talks. It's way more than that. It's an active, generous choice to make space for another person. And that's what we're calling spiritual hospitality.
This idea of creating an inner space is just so powerful. It comes from the writer Henri Nouwen, and it suggests that real listening isn't about your ears, it's about your whole inner posture. It means you have to clear out all of your own mental clutter, your judgments, your brilliant advice, your urge to fix everything, just so you can make room for someone else to just be.
And this is exactly what it feels like. I mean, just imagine really offering this to somebody. Not saying, you're welcome here, but you should probably change this or that. Or if you just agree with me. No, just a simple, you are welcome here exactly as you are. That kind of acceptance, it's incredibly rare, and it's a total game changer. Okay, let's make this personal for a second, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you were in a conversation where you felt completely, 100% safe to be yourself? Knowing that the other person was just there to hear you, not to fix you, not to judge you. It's a tough question for a lot of us, right?
And this isn't some abstract philosophical idea. It has major real-world consequences. Pope Francis has this amazing phrase for it, dialogues among the deaf. It's such a perfect description of so much of our communication. We're all just talking at each other, basically just waiting for a pause so we can jump in with our point. We're not actually receiving what the other person is saying.
What this means is that we pretty much need to upgrade our listening equipment. According to Pope Francis, it's a three-part system. First, the ears, obviously, they hear the actual words. But then there's the heart, which feels the emotion behind the words. And finally, a spirit of discernment, which is all about trying to understand the deeper meaning, the real core of what's being shared.
Now, what's so fascinating is that this whole spiritual framework is actually backed up by decades of psychological research. So let's switch gears a bit and look at some practical, learnable tools that can help us become better hosts for other people's stories.
So a huge name in this field is the psychologist Carl Rogers. He coined the term empathic listening. And the whole goal isn't just to repeat what someone said. It's about digging deeper and asking yourself, what is it actually like to be this person in this moment? What is their heart trying to say, even if their words aren't getting it perfectly?
And here's the kicker. Rogers discovered that the simple act of being deeply heard, accurately and without any judgment, is, by itself, a massively powerful engine for healing and growth. You don't need the answers. Your focused, caring, listening presence, that's the catalyst. And as you can see, it just takes one person to kickstart that whole process.
Okay, here's another fantastic tool. This one comes from M. Scott Peck, who called it bracketing. And I love that word because it's such a perfect mental image. It's the act of taking all of your own stuff, your opinions, your experiences, your brilliant ideas, and just mentally putting them in brackets for a little while.
This comparison just lays it all out so clearly. That column on the left, that's our default mode, isn't it? We're already forming our reply, judging the story, thinking of advice. But look at the right side. That's bracketing. It's where you temporarily set aside your own ego and just make the other person the absolute center of your attention. It's this small but powerful act of self-emptying.
So, time for another quick, honest self-check. Think about the last important conversation you had. Were you just listening for a gap, waiting to jump in with your point? Or were you genuinely trying to understand the world from their point of view? Because there is a huge difference.
Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now let's get to the most important part, the how. How can we actually start practicing this stuff in our real, everyday lives? Well, the source material gives us 4 key arenas to focus on.
First, in our relationships, this means giving our complete, undivided attention, and maybe most importantly, to the people we find quiet or even a little difficult. Second, in our jobs, listening with the genuine belief that every single person has wisdom to share, no matter their title. Third, and this one's a big one, with ourselves, creating that quiet space to actually listen to our own inner voice. And finally,
with the world itself. Just opening our senses and listening to the story that nature is always telling. You know, as we start to pull all these threads together, it becomes pretty clear that we're talking about something way bigger than just a simple communication technique. We're really talking about the fundamental nature of how we care for and connect with each other. This right here, this is the ultimate gift we give when we truly listen. We aren't saying, "Don't worry, I'll solve this for you." We're saying something so much more profound. We're saying, "You are not alone in this." Our presence itself becomes the connection.
And really, it all boils down to this. You don't need a bunch of money, you don't need any special skills, and you definitely don't need a perfect solution to make a huge difference in someone's life. You can offer the simple, totally free, and deeply loving gift of your undivided, hospitable attention. It's a true act of love.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. This isn't just an interesting idea to think about, it's a call to action. So just take a moment. Who in your world, a family member, a coworker, a friend, who might just need that safe space, the hospitality of your listening, today?